Take two. I'm trying to, like, you're going to sit that sideways so then I can sit on the settee. I need to move back up to my spare room, I think, and better lighting up there because I don't have good lighting in my living room. But I'm just chilling this evening, so I'm going to sit on my settee and chat with you. You're sitting in the middle again. Come on, which side are you going on? Left or right? I need to sit in the middle. Come on. Rosie. Oh, bless you, Jake. Thank you. I'll put the link out for you, Chris. Bless your heart. Let me just put these comments on quick. Bless you. I'll share them out. Confused. Bless you, Michael. Michael, if you wanted to do a live next weekend, we could jump on and have a chat. I'd be up for that if you're up for that. Bless your heart. And Jake, if you want. Bless you, Chris. Thank you for popping in. Sorry I took a little while. Had to sort Rosie out. Bless her. Bless Jake. Right. Let's put the link out. I'm trying to sort my camera out so because my lighting. Oh no, not copy to clipboard. I need to copy that way and then paste it this way. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and I might move my settee forward a little bit. Changing rooms. Change my room round. It's mad, isn't it, with the lighting? But it doesn't matter anyway. It's not about that, is it? So, bless you, Michael. I need to put the link out. Right. Rosie, come and sit down, baby. Rosie, come on. Good girl. Come sit down, Baba. Good girl. Come on. Right, got chill now. Let's chill, me and you. Come on. You can have a chat. I can do. Come on, Shelley. Put the link out. I've done it, mate. It's there. Done. Yay, Chris is on. Bless him. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
Oh, come on. I'm just going to sort my camera out because I'm just going to wait for Rosie to sit down. Right, she's sitting in the middle, so I don't know where to sit. I've got a three-seater, and I normally sit in my living room. But yeah, how are you? All right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
Thank you for popping on as well. It means a lot. Bless you. But I would have waited till next weekend. It doesn't matter, you know, whatever time you can do, really. Right, let's get on. Right. Rosie, are you going to stay there now, yeah? Right. As long as you don't mind me asking you a few questions about, like, prison life and that on your side, sort of thing. I don't know if Clint's in, but I was going to, like, ask him a few. Right. Excuse me while I sort my camera out. Right. Excuse my big head. Right. Right. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Right, hang on, because you know when you look on the camera, it's the opposite side, isn't it, when you're on StreamYard? So when you try and so if I try to point this way, I'm pointing the other way, but I'm trying to point right, not left. So it's better to go like that. It's the opposite, isn't it? Yeah, so how are you? All right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
Good. I can't see the chat, Jake, so I just wondered if Jake wouldn't mind if any bots come in, you know, the old bots, and they put like scamming links in, don't they? But yeah, so you went on Pat's Live, didn't you, the other week?
Yeah, I've been on quite a few channels.
Yeah. Do you sort of like what channels do you go on?
Fighting Trolls. I've been on Film Boys a few times. I'd be on Live Free
Yeah.
and yeah, Paps too.
Yeah, it's nice that you sort of go on and like chat to them all and that, isn't it? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But bless you, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat. Jake, would you mind doing the chat for me? Is that all right? Bless Jake, because he wants to come in, bless him. But like, I just wanted to sort of like chat with you. But like, you know, you said that you was like, you worked as a prison officer. You used to work as one. Like,
Yeah.
what's made you want to sort of like be a prison officer? Did you always want to be one as a child, or did something
No. Yeah, it was one thing. Yeah, I never got it in the army, but over my knee. But I just it was a brand new prison. I just went for a job in there.
So you just sort of like thought, right, I'm going to just go for it and just.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you always wanted to be a prison officer. You just
No.
sort of the job and like opportunity and just went for it, sort of thing.
Yeah, because there was a work of jobs going in there.
Yeah. Okay. So that sort of like brings me to my next question to you. Like, did you need to sort of like have qualifications and skills to sort of like be one?
No.
You didn't.
No.
So you just walked in and.
No, you have a maths and English test and the fitness test and the medical, and you get a job unless you pass it. And it's quite you don't need no qualifications.
So you didn't have like no training or like, so you had did you have like a fitness test or anything to become one? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you have to do like a big test.
Okay, so that's what helped you get through being like a prison officer. So do you mind me asking you questions? Because I don't mind. I'm being a bit like Clint's nosy Rosie. I'm being a bit nosy, but it's nice to know, isn't it? You know, sort of thing. Okay, so did you ever in your job become friends with any other like inmates that was in prison?
Fighting trolls.
Oh, so you actually met fighting trolls in prison?
Yeah, he was in prison. He was in the same prison as me.
Oh wow! Oh God! So did you like, obviously, because my question at the end is how you left like being a prison officer, but like, so when you did leave being a prison officer, did you sort of stay in contact with fighting trolls when did he leave before you? I don't know, because you left, haven't you?
Yeah, he left before me. I think he has been to prison for about 2 or 3 years.
So when did you go? When did you first start being a prison officer? What year?
I applied in 2017. I got it. I started in about 2018. Yeah.
18. So obviously, like, I don't want to talk about fighting Charles because he's not here. You know what I mean? It's not fair on him, bless him. Yeah. But like, obviously, so you met him in there, and obviously, I don't want to talk about him, but you met him in there. It's contradicting, isn't it? But
Rob seen me once. Do you know Rob of YouTube?
No.
Real North Media.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah, I've heard of that channel. Yeah, I've seen that channel about. Yeah.
We came to do all it, but well, because I was sound with him, he never put me on camera.
So did you meet him in there, or did you go onto his channel and talk to him?
Yeah, I saw him a few times on his channel, but he came to see me one day.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice that you met someone from here, and that it's nice when you actually do meet people, isn't it? Like from, because YouTube, there's a lot of like stuff that goes on, and like people don't tend to build a lot of friendships on here, do they?
Yeah.
But it's nice to actually like done that. So that answers the question of meeting someone in
Yeah.
prison, being a prison officer. You've actually formed a friendship with somebody, because they tend to say, don't they, to keep it, like being a prison officer and the inmates, you're meant to keep that sort of formal, aren't you? Like
well, like everyone knows, you get good and bad on both sides.
Yeah, I was going to ask that as well. Did you? This isn't a question that I wrote down for us, but like, did you ever see or hear of any like prison officers bringing things in for like inmates and stuff? You know, like
I never seen it, but quite often.
Yeah, you hear about it, don't you?
And corruption is gone. Corruption is mad in the prison service.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot about that.
It's happening all the time.
Yeah, because when I done my prison little video, obviously it wasn't that great because it was quite loud with the traffic and stuff. Researching it, there was actually a prison officer woman who got 2 years prison herself because she was actually smuggling in like phones and drugs and stuff like that. So you do hear of it, don't you? It is happening, sort of thing.
Shelley, it's happening all the time now.
Yeah. Why did you leave? Why did you leave your
job? Well, because I got bullied by management.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask you another question? Did you ever get into a disagreement with any other prison officer, or was you ever in a disagreement with any like inmate, and what did you do, sort of thing? How did you sort of deal with it?
Well, it does happen quite often, but you just have to deal with it.
Did you sort of control it, sort of thing? Yeah. Are you trained for that? Did they train you for situations like that or not?
Well, training is, like everyone knows, training is a bit pathetic in that job, and like everyone knows, you get lucky staff in that job too.
Yeah. Well, because I'm quite shocked when you said that they didn't like they all they done was like train you for like fitness, and all you needed like was your English and maths just to go straight through. You know, that shocked me really. Like to hear that. You know,
Shelley, it's a job. It's too easy to get in.
Yeah, I think somebody else has said that before. It's quite an easy job to get in, sort of thing. But can I ask you another question? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Bless you. Thank you. Rosie Lee, sorry, my girl is nosediving. Come up here, Rose. Rose. Sorry, my girl's not very well. She's quite poorly, aren't you? Right, okay. Okay, do you agree with the death penalty? This is a bit of a random.
God.
As you were a prison officer, do you agree with? I know it's not in this country, and I know it was back like in the 1800s and stuff, early 19s. But do you agree with it?
Yeah, for one crime, the sex offenders. I used to see paedophiles coming back into all the time.
Yeah, so that comes to like
you do it the second time, you should have a death sentence.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they should bring that back in this country for paedophiles 100%. I think they should be given that death penalty 100%.
I just seen them. Well, in prison, no one likes paedophiles.
Yeah, because what I've heard, they are they actually sectioned off in a
Yeah,
different unit?
yeah. VP. They in Army on protection.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. So you've obviously seen that. Did you ever have any like interaction with them? Did you ever see them, or did you have to
Yeah,
go and like take them to places and stuff, or not?
yeah.
Or was your thing?
Yeah. Well, yes. Sometimes, yeah. But yeah. God, they're just disgusting. They used to talk dirty to me. I just walked off.
That must have been really hard for you to actually, like, as a job, like
Yeah.
be stood near one as well, you know, having to sort of control yourself, your like emotions, like
Yeah.
being stood next to like somebody knowing that what they've done,
Yeah.
and then having to like, yeah, walk off. It's like I don't think I'd be able to sort of like
Yeah. And
control
Shirley,
myself.
and they do it like 4 times.
So you've actually like been on that side, because I
Yeah, not often. I only was on that side for about 2 months.
so you worked on that side for 2 months when you was
Yeah,
there. How long did you work as a prison officer?
for about press training and that, and it takes a long time to get in. I say about 3.5 years.
3.5 years, bless you. So how long did it take you through, like, to get through to your training? Was it weeks or months?
Oh, 8 months, or it could take up to 12 months.
So it nearly took up
Because
to a year.
yeah, security checks. And they check everything about your background. You talk about a prison service. They're not the fastest of people.
So, you know, like when I first asked, like, about the qualifications that you needed and stuff like that, like, obviously they're quite, like, lenient on that, aren't they? More than,
Yeah.
like, going through the other sort of procedures with you to, like, get into being an officer. But bless your heart, you know, to actually go in and work. Have you met like other prison officers in there that you're friends with now as well? Like, I know you've met an inmate that you're friends with, but like, did you get on with the prison officers?
Yeah, I just saying, most of them are sound. It's just the marriages.
Yeah, bless you. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the chat, but I didn't know if anyone wanted to ask any questions as well, or you know, poor Chris, I put you on the spot, you know. Sorry, it's like, get on here, let me ask you all these questions. But yeah, it's just nice to hear from, like, because I sort of do a bit of like murder lives, you know, like women that have been murdered and stuff like that. And you know, the amount of years that some people get for doing what they've done, I just don't think it's long enough. But is it true, like because when I researched about Bedford Prison, there was a big riot a couple of years back in Bedford Prison, because people were locked in their cells for 23 hours a day out of 24. Did that happen in your prison, or were they just to come out and?
Well, I just think because of COVID, it's like now it's in every jail now.
So they're locked up because of COVID, because this wasn't. That's
not enough staff.
So is that why they were locked up like 23 hours out of 24?
And this there are.
Yeah, because that must have got quite heated then when you was working there, because like it's quite frustrating, isn't it, to be like, for them being locked up in a room for 23 hours a day out of 24. Did you see like a lot of, like, were people getting like aggressive and like frustrated because of it?
I'd say that Shelley, drugs is too much drugs in prison. People are going to prison, never done drugs, and they're coming out druggies.
Yeah, I've researched that as well. A lot of people, that's what I've researched as well when I've done Bedford Prison. A lot of people like never touched drugs in their life, and as soon as they stepped in, they were given something which made them addicted, and they've come out like addicts from being in prison. But then some people go into prison being on drugs and come out clean, don't they? So
Yeah.
you know, it works both ways, really, can't it? But
I
suppose
yeah, I just think it's lots of corruption these days. Because it's too many young staff, and the training's the training is pathetic.
yeah, that's what you were saying before about the training, weren't you?
And you might get searched like 3 times in 12 months.
So it's easy to sort of get like they were saying in what I researched with Bedford Prison, it was easier to get drugs in than it was to get like their bed in at some point. So like to get like items like pillows and sheets, it was so easy to get drugs inside than actually getting, you know, something to sleep with and like to cover themselves with. It's like, yeah, like you're saying, it's corruption, isn't it? And bringing it in and being searched only 3 times, it's a lot easier to do, isn't it? Was you ever asked to bring stuff in, or did anybody ever ask you as an officer to bring them stuff in or not?
Yeah, I had 2 people.
Did you? Did they try to sway you, or did they sway you? Did you, like, I'm putting you on the spot and I'm sorry, but you're not a prison officer anymore, so it doesn't matter. But if you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, because I know on here it's quite, you know, we're out in the open really, aren't we? So
Well, I just took no notice of them.
yeah, you just carried on and done like your job sort of thing. Could I ask you another question? This is this question means quite a bit to me actually, because I'm going to show some people this question and your answer afterwards. What would you say to young people who are or could be taking the first steps on a criminal path? What would you say to them?
Well, someone goes to prison these days, don't take nothing off no one in prison, because you don't want to get in debt, because drugs and phones is big business. You get in debt and you can't afford to pay it back, you get battered.
So
do
that's
not do it.
But my question was, I was just, if you don't mind asking, like, what would you say to somebody that's young now, that's not in prison, that is sort of like stepping into maybe a criminal path or like a criminal side? What would you advise them actually being in prison, seeing what goes on and how hard it can be? What would you say to that young person today?
Well, just keep your nose clean and don't break a law, and life, and just get yourself a job.
Yeah.
Because prison these days, it's no good for no one. Because you might come out junkies, or you might get beaten up in there.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
It's not nice being locked up 23 hours a day.
Sorry, my girl keeps nosediving off the settee, so if you see me going off, I'm trying to stop her from going off. Thank you, Chris. That's the, I think that one. Sorry. Yeah. So, what was like the prison food like as well, and did you ever eat it in there? Did you ever like attempt to eat it? And so someone's trying to come in, questions. I don't know who that is, but I'm not being rude, but sorry, Chris, somebody's trying to join and I don't know who they are. They're just showing themselves. So I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are, but if I don't know if it's Jake or not. I'm just going to ask you a few more questions because I don't want to be rude, whoever's trying to come in, but I just want to sort of ask Chris a few questions. But if you want to come in and ask Chris some brilliant, I think it's Jake. Yes, bless Jake. It's only Jake. Bless him. If you don't mind Jake popping in as well, because he might want to ask you some questions. He's really like clued up and he's very good at stuff as well. Yeah, so did you ever eat, like, did you ever try the prison food, and what was the prison food like? You know, was it 5-star food or?
Well, not 5-star. Well, you could have English breakfast. You could have fish and chips sometimes, and you could have you could have gammon and chips, and yeah, like it's almost like food you get at home. You have a chicken curry.
It's not like back in the old days, like porridge and stuff like that. What you hear of, sort of thing. Yeah. Bless you. And the knife and forks are plastic. Is that right?
Yeah.
Saying, yeah. Okay, because I always wanted to know that. Really, it's a bit of a random question, but you know, I always wondered. So yeah.
And Shelley, I just seen you talking about drugs. That spice is terrible in there.
Did you ever like see people on spice inside in there as well? You ever see them?
Spice is quite bad in there.
Did you see anyone like unfortunately, I know it's sad, like lose their lives like being on spice and
a few times.
It's really sad. It's so sad that that drug is so, like, what I've seen of it, it's they're like a zombie. It's like a zombie effect, isn't it? And like they don't know what they're doing, and that. But for you to actually see that as well, that must have been horrifying, because like, was you trained for situations like that?
No, it's like a cancer in there. Spice is everywhere.
So is it easier to like get something like spice than what it would be like something like cannabis in there, sort of thing? Is it more easy?
Well, you could get anything in there. It's quite easy.
Yeah, I've heard that. I have researched that as well. Just gonna have a drink. I don't mind. When I was saying earlier about my glass, look, I'm not even lying. Have you seen the size of that glass?
Shelley, they was drinking vodka in there a few times.
Was that being smuggled into there, or did they make their own booze inside?
Oh yeah, they made their own booze sometimes, and they used to smuggle vodka in sometimes.
Do you know how they made their own booze, or like, do you know how they make it?
Well, yeah, kind of. But they used to make their own drinks all the time.
And like, would you like do like sell rates, or would you just let them, or would like the screws just let them get on with it, sort of thing?
Well, nice. I think sometimes they let, unless you don't cause no trouble, they let you get away with stuff.
So they let them get away with it, and like let them make it and drink it. And stuff.
To keep our jobs, to make our jobs easier.
Yeah, which is like, in a way,
to blind eye.
So like, in a way, to me, if a man's in there for, I know you have like they say, like crimes where, you know, someone's gone inside for maybe driving without consent and stuff like that, or then you've got the higher scale of someone being in there murdering somebody. That I know some people can murder people through, like, sometimes it was an accident, or if they've actually intentionally gone out and murdered, like for my instance, like a woman, through some of my stories that I've done that have been heartbreaking, for them to be inside and to be able to be making booze and and to be able to be letting it have like a blind eye, to be letting them have their enjoyment of having a drink. That's sort of like, it's just heartbreaking to hear that, you know, from my point of view. But then I suppose from your point of view as a side of being an officer, making your lives easier, having to deal with them having outbursts and stuff.
And at night times, it's not enough staff.
Yeah, I've heard that there's a lot of like staff shortages and that, which puts you under pressure, doesn't it? With your longer hours and stuff. Did you do like longer hours? Like, was you set hours, or was you?
You do overtime. You get like £22 an hour.
So if you was like, so if you done a shift like, okay, I'm going to go to work today at 9 in the morning till 5 at night, would they say to you, right, we're short staffed, we want you to stay in another 8 hours? Would they put that on you on that day, or would they ask you like in advance?
They ask you the next day.
Do
for
they?
The next day, yeah.
Yeah, so that's quite a lot of shortages then, isn't it? In like the prison staff.
But overtime it's about £22. It's quite good.
Yeah, that's quite like good pay for a prison officer. But like, do you see my sort of point though of like how much they do get away with? And like, I know it was easier life for the prison officers, but like for me, hearing about certain prisoners that have been inside that have actually gone out their way to kill somebody meaningfully to do it as well, it's you know, they get away with quite a bit, don't they? And like, it's not right to me, you know, it's not fair. But bless you, Chris, thank you for coming on as well. I don't know if anyone
Shirley, what I told a few people, well, Film Boy knows, I'm going back.
What, you're thinking of going back?
Oh, no, I am going back. I'm just waiting for my security checks.
Oh, bless you. What, so you're actually going to go back and be a prison officer again?
But I don't want to say what prison I'm going to.
No, yeah, obviously I wouldn't ask or anything. That's your, you know, that's your personal sort of like what you're going to be doing and stuff. But bless you, I hope you get the job and that. I don't know if I've missed anything, because I do miss things. No, I don't know. I don't know if anybody else wants to ask you any questions. Was my questions all right asking you? I didn't want to offend you or anything in anything that I've said, or
you was okay.
Thank you, Chris. It means a lot that you've come on as well and spoke with me. Bless you.
It's weird. You understand my Welsh accent.
I understand a lot of accents. I tell you, I've got ears like an elephant. I can hear something a mile off. Just blind as a bat sometimes. Bless you. I don't know if anyone wants to ask you any questions though. Let's have a look. Oh, bless Jake. He's in bed now. Bless him. Sorry, Jake. Bless you. Oh, Clint's coming on. Should I put the link out for Clint, and Clint can come on, because Clint was actually explaining, if you have time, he was actually an inmate. So there's questions I'd like to ask Clint, if that's okay. If you don't mind staying on, Chris, if you, I don't know if you've got things to do. Sorry.
I got 5 minutes.
Right, okay. Well, if you need to go, it doesn't matter. Honestly, I can talk to, I can chat away to Clint. But Bless you. Thank you for popping on as well. But yeah, because I done a video about Bedford Prison. I researched the history into it, and it made me look into the sort of more onto the inside of what actually goes on inside. Because I do like my crime videos as well. So yeah, bless you. I hope you do get your job again, being a prison officer.
Shirley, I got a job.
So you've I know you've got one now.
No, I got it. I just wait for.
Oh, so you actually got the job?
Yeah. I just have to pass the security checks.
Oh, bless your heart. Well, that's what I mean. I hope you get through to the next sort of stage.
Yeah.
So do you keep in contact with? Okay, would you? So going into the prison job again now, would you do anything differently to what you've done in your last job, being a prison officer?
Yeah. Just take no notice of cocky stuff.
This is Clint, Chris. Chris, this is Clint.
Good evening.
Bless him. Good evening, Clint. How are you, mate? All right?
Yeah, I'm good. Just had
Thank you for popping on. Bless you. Is there anything you wanted to? Oh, is that your card? So do you get like cards? So you actually get cards like that then when you go into prison and actually leave prison then? Do they let you come home with them?
No.
So no, obviously not. I pinched mine. They're still trying to get me now for it.
I didn't pinch it. I just borrowed it on a long-term basis.
So you're not allowed to leave with it though, but you just sort of let yours come out with you. Yeah. Oh, look, Rose. Look, doggy daycare. Bless us.
My shadow.
So, is there any questions you'd like to ask Chris, Clint, or not?
No, I'm good. I know. Obviously, I know how to make the hooch. You know, if you know a few lads in the if you know a few lads in the kitchen, you're all right. You get the few ingredients.
Right. So is it called hooch then? Is it called?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So how would you make that then? I've got questions for you, but like I'm skipping down a few now. Like, so how would you make that or not? Or do you not want to say that on here?
I'd rather not give away the secret.
Not. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's a fair shout. You know,
if you make it wrong, then obviously the officers can smell it all the way through the landing.
So were the officers like in your prison when you Can I ask you? So do you mind, Clint, if I ask you a question? If you don't want to answer them, it's fine. I totally
go for
it. So, like, why did and what did you do to end up going to prison?
How much time you got?
Because I totally understand it's on YouTube and it's out there, so I know it's personal.
How much time you got?
Got all night.
Well,
hang on, let me fill this up too. Don't ask.
That's right. First time I went to prison was in 1988 when I was 15 years old. Got done for burglary. Turned around and said, "Oh, I'll teach you a lesson. Give you 2 years for my first offence." And obviously, it didn't teach me a lesson. My last time in prison, I've been in for drugs, shoplifting, burglary. Believe it or not, one for assault. But it was mainly shoplifting and selling drugs.
And does that sort of like stem back to like your micro? Is that like your childhood? So is that like did you struggle like growing up, Clint? Which
No,
way
no,
come out and do it?
no. I had a brilliant childhood. Both my foster parents were school teachers. You know, just got to the age of 15 and started to rebel and saying fuck it all. And they say that's how it started, and it finally finished in 2013.
So, like when you first done your sort of like when you first got your 2 years inside,
Yeah.
did you sort of like get to know? Like, did you prefer to sort of like being inside than being outside? So, because I hear a lot of stories where people get to know like prison life, they feel safe in there, and that's why they come out and reoffend, because that's where they want to go back. Is that what made you do what you done when you came back out, or did you just sort of go with it and just sort of ended up back there, sort of thing?
It was, how can I put it, occupational hazard. That's the way I looked at it. I didn't intend to keep going back in prison. You know, it's just part of the lifestyle I lived. It's a 50-50 gamble. You get caught or you don't get caught, simple as. And you know, if you get caught, then 9 times out of 10 you go into prison.
Was it the buzz then that made you go out and sort of do what you were doing, or like you're saying, the 50-50 if you get caught?
Yeah.
So was it like an adrenaline feeling, or?
Oh, it's definitely part adrenaline and part needs to feed a drug habit.
Yeah, so that goes back to like your addiction. So like, because I know that you are in recovery from addiction, and well done to you, 100%. Honestly, big up to you for that.
Over 8 years clean now.
Big respect to you, Clint, honestly. And nobody can ever know what it's like unless they're going through it themselves. So big respect to you, 100% for what you've done. Thank you. And so did you become like, I know it's personal, but did you become addicted to drugs being inside, or was it when you was out of prison?
When I was outside, just got mixed up in the wrong crowd. You know, started off with weed, then it was amphet, acid, ecstasy. You know, then it got into the class A's, heroin, crack, basically whatever I could get my hands on. My thing was, if you could snort it, sniff it, bomb it, bang it, or whatever, I'd take it, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that because with mine like goes back to trauma, so like where I wanted to numb things out. So with you, did you want to sort of like numb stuff out in your life, or did you just like the feeling? Which
bit of both. My foster brother, he committed suicide in 1992, and I don't think that's something I've ever gotten over.
Yeah.
You know, it was just kind of way of blocking all that out.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's how our brain sort of closes that like bit off, doesn't it? You're still sort of trying to function, aren't you? And, and I think with the drugs, it is like a form of numbing, isn't it? Which numbs the feelings out, sort of thing.
Definitely. Shirley, Kristen, today this makes people worse because there's so much drugs in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But prison doesn't work.
Sometimes there's more drugs in prison than there is on the outside.
Yeah.
And that's what you were saying before, wasn't it, Chris, about it, how easy it was getting drugs in prison. And so before you went to prison, Clint, was you on drugs before, or did you find drugs in prison and it started from there before? Was it easy for you to get drugs in prison, like Chris was saying?
If I'd wanted to. But it's strange, when I was out, I was doing everything, but when I was inside, drugs didn't bother me at all. I didn't want them. It's strange. Wow.
So that's
you know,
quite.
but-
That's sort of like not shocked me, but well done, you know, for being that way in prison. But like being able to get hold of it more, probably, like,
oh yeah,
would have thought that you would have, like, but well done for not, you know, because it's easier too, isn't it? Sort of
yeah,
thing.
but not the prices you would be expected for, you know, for what you'd pay for a £10 bag on the outside and what you'd get for a tenner on the inside. And if you wanted a street bag on the inside, you'd have to pay ridiculous amounts.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, I've
Shelley.
seen
Yeah, for a parcel is about £1,000.
So is that so? Okay, this brings me back now to getting the actual stuff brought in, because majority of it has to come in from somewhere, which has to be, i.e., the prison officers, for it to be coming in. So are they like on a wage salary from it then as well? So, or like how it, you know, my prison story of Bedford, the woman was actually seeing an inmate. So that's how she was bringing stuff into him, obviously for free. But, you know, if prisoners are doing it, so it's like a
Shelley,
sort of money making, isn't it?
Yeah, well, like I told you, corruption is too much these days, and as women sleeping with the inmates, it happens in every prison.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I suppose it's not, but then that brings me back to what about the male prison officers who are doing it then? You know, they can't be, are they, you know, are they sleeping with the inmates, or, you know, are they doing it for the money? Or, you know, it's not just the women, is it? It's obviously males as well that are doing it. I'm not saying, you know, the women have done it. This woman in Bedford prison done it, the officer. But, you know, so is that how they're making their money then? Is like, what would the prison officer get out of that? And, you know, to actually charge somebody that amount of money, like you were saying, for a £10 bag on the outside, it's just madness, isn't it? What is actually going down, really? Yeah,
Shelley, the small phone on the internet is about £40. In prison, I could go up to 300. A small phone like that.
Wow. So like you were saying, Clint, that you didn't like, so you went the other way, you stopped sort of like doing the drugs and stuff. Did you, like being in prison, did you sort of like, did you work in there and did you get an education to come out with, or like, you know, how did that work for you?
Luckily, as I said, both my foster parents were school teachers. So I left school with 7 GCSEs. And when I was in prison, as I was saying earlier about the, you know, you're saying all knives and forks and plates are plastic.
Yeah.
But after you've been in for a while, you can work up to what you call your enhanced status. And with that, you get more privileges. You can get to wear your own clothes. You get more visits. I got,
so
excuse me.
Yourself, Clint, is that like proving your like good behaviour, or like working to that level?
Everything, staying off the, giving clean drug tests, keeping your cell clean and tidy, you know, going to work or whatever. You know, it's a bit like a reward system.
Yeah, a bit like for you. Yeah. So did you have a job in there? Did you work in like the kitchen or?
Well, I never worked in the kitchen. When I was in Gloucester, first prison I went to was Shrewsbury, and I had a job in the workshop making all the gym vests. I've had jobs in Gloucester on the works department. Now that is a very trusted job, because with that you get to carry your chisels, hammers, screwdrivers, you get to handle all them. But when I was in Exeter, I had a job on CES doing all the laundry for the prison, you know, and that is a trusted job, because you could put anything in them when you're picking up laundry, you know, take this to the next wing or whatever.
what would they put in the laundry though? Like stuff like you were saying, like the hammer and stuff, like in that other job, or like
Well,
food
you wouldn't have a chance of nicking a hammer because there's a place for everything in the workshop. You know, before you go out, they check everything, and before you leave the work department, they take everything out and make sure everything is there. And if anything's missing, trust me, you're in a whole world of shit.
Yeah.
What
anything
I just seen.
Would you be put in like solitary confinement, or like would you be like, how would they sort of punish you for that?
Well, one, you'd lose your job. You'd be back on basic, you know, which is more bang up than normal, you know.
So they wouldn't risk it, really.
Yeah, it's just not worth the risk. Plus, works departments and the clothing was one of the best paid jobs in the prison.
Yeah,
you know, the £18 a week, and for a prison job, that's good.
Yeah.
So what's the lowest salary in the prison job? Is it like 18? Obviously, like you just said, was good. What's the lowest that
Unemployed or education?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't be unemployed in jail. You know what I mean? Got to get out that cell. Got to keep yourself busy.
So,
Yeah.
was you ever 23 hours a day, Clint, or did you like? Because when I done the Bedford video, there was a big riot because people were locked up 23 hours a day. I don't think it's as much now, but was you ever put in that situation where you was locked in your cell for 23 hours out of the 24?
During certain lockdowns, yeah, but as a rule, you know, you got your exercise during the day, which they can't stop you from having.
Yeah,
you know, and then you got to have, you know, your cleaning time, everything like that. You step out for your dinners, but sometimes you do try and get the last one back in your cell because you're just running around, just going to see other people. But being locked up 24 hours a day, you know, it doesn't happen all that much now.
No, because when I researched, because I'm going back, this happened about 2-3 years ago, and basically there's a trust, isn't there, for reformed prisoners, and they actually spoke out for the prisoners and said that they were basically living in their own like squalor for like 23 hours a day, and that's what made them kick off doing the riot and stuff.
Oh, yeah, it does happen.
Can I ask you a question, Clint? Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
Did you ever get into a disagreement or a fight with any other inmate? And if so, what happens?
In all the 25 years of being in and out of prison, I have not once had a single fight.
Wow.
Not
Have you
once.
ever witnessed anything like that go on? Or
Oh, yeah. You know, as Chris, is it Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah. As he's probably seen and I've seen, is prison napalm being used.
Yeah.
You know, boiling water, a bag of sugar mixed together and put on someone.
Yeah. Shirley, I know it happened on the file.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know it happens with the paedophiles. People in prison.
Or you got a pad thief. Or a pad thief. No, they are all going around robbing off their road. If someone goes out, leaves the door open, and they go in and steal off them, 9 times out of 10, it's the hand in the door like that, and that door is slammed on their hand, broken hand, can't do nothing.
It's like the lowest, the low, isn't it? I suppose when they
don't rob off your own,
and they're actually going in and feeding from like another inmate. They say that's the lowest of the low, don't they? In there, is that right? Is that right? In me saying that, that's what I've heard, but I could be wrong.
And what we used to call information orderlies, you know, inside grasses.
Clint, what do you think of the new officers today to the old officers? You think
new office
you think
now.
yeah? Do you think
New
it's,
office?
do you think a job is too easy to get into?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I think a lot of the new officers are basically thrown into the deep end, haven't got a clue or how to interact with them.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
managers are as to main managers are over promoted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the managers are not very good.
No.
It's
Yeah,
quite
kind
a
of.
good question, actually, Chris, to ask, really.
A
About,
lot of
there's a lot put onto them, aren't they? And
a lot of the new officers are ones that have come out of university or something like that, and they haven't got a interact or talk to prisoners. But in the old days, if you messed around with them, well, that was it. You'd get a backhander.
yeah, what I've heard, like in the olden days, prison was prison. It was like it was hardcore, like that. They would have they wouldn't be able to communicate with any other inmates. It would be silence. You'd have to eat in your cells on your own. You'd be lucky to have a bit of exercise. It was proper prison. It was like, done that crime, you done that time, sort of thing.
It's like when I first went in, there's no toilets in the cells, no television. There'd be 4 of you in the cell with a piss pot and a bucket, so you can imagine the smells of the cells in the morning.
Yeah, and I think that's why what made me look into more of Bedford prison side, because of the riot, because they were living in their own squalor, so the toilets were blocked, and it was just like it just caused them to have that big riot. And I think 4 people actually lost their life through that riot, through committing suicide as well, because they were so low. And but like some people, they end up in prison because of like a poor childhood, and things have happened to them, and but yeah, do you agree with the what's your views on the death penalty, Clint? Do you agree with it? You don't?
I do agree with it, but only if it's beyond reasonable doubt. DNA nowadays, you can't argue with DNA.
Yeah.
As I said to you before, one of my mum's friends growing up, George Riley, who was the last bloke to be hanged in our local prison.
Yeah,
and they still reckon he was innocent. He didn't have a very good mental age. And just after the murder, which he got hung for, his brother disappeared off to Australia.
Everyone says
it was his brother, not him.
Yeah, but that's really like I agree with you there, because if somebody's been had the death sentence for something that they've pleaded that they haven't done, and they haven't done it, and they've been murdered for that, sentenced for that, the death penalty for that, it is wrong. But if they have done it, especially what me and Chris were saying about when it comes to more of the paedophile side, I really do agree with that. They should be put into one room straight away and demolished, gone. But that's my opinion. I don't think they should get that
death penalty. Giving them the drop is too quick for them.
Yeah, but I feel that if somebody goes in and does an armed robbery, they've used a gun, they get up to 15 years for that crime.
Oh yeah.
But if you have somebody that does something like that takes away a child's life,
Innocence.
they get their innocence. Yes, they get
and they get 6 months.
It does not and that's where you go into the corruption side a bit more, don't you? Of of weighing it up, like what is actually going on with the system and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes
Yeah,
sense. Sorry if I don't make sense, but yeah.
I reckon you should just let the parents loose on them.
Yes. Yeah. Just one parent in a room that it'd be done. Like over. Yeah, 100%.
But unfortunately, in prison, the paedophiles and all that are kept on separate wings, and trying to get to them is virtually impossible.
Yeah, me and Chris were saying that before about how they are separated, and and it's a lot difficult for other inmates, isn't it? To actually, they are protected, aren't they? They are covered and protected on the inside and the outside. To be fair,
but I know when I was in Exeter Prison back in 2001, there was a prisoner on the wing, and they found out he was in for molesting his own kid, and they was all waiting up to go up for dinner, and he was walking past. All of a sudden, one of the cell doors opened, 2 sets of hands grabbed him, yanked him in, closed the door. You could hear screaming and shouting, and some of the officers was like, I can hear something, and they walked round so slowly, checking in every door, and they let the prisoners have a good 10 minutes with him.
Yeah,
never seen him again after that.
Yeah, that's, to me, that's good, because the prisoners have closed their eyes to it and their ears to it, and they've let the other prisoners get on with it, which fair play, fair play to them for doing that, because where there's a will, there's a way, isn't there? And they shouldn't be protected. Why should they get more rights to any other prisoner? Why should they have more rights to any other prisoner being inside?
They got no rights.
Yeah,
Shelley, and they get the best jobs sometimes.
Do they as well? That is absolutely that's where my mind sort of plays with me now and thinks, well, like I was saying before about the system being corrupt, it's like they've allowed them to do that, get less time for what they've done, go in, get better jobs, and something just doesn't weigh, does it? It doesn't make sense. And fair play to the other prisoners for getting to
We all went on protest in Gloucester in '97 because we was all working out in the workshops, and we found out that all the paedo actually the prison were actually allowing them to make kids toys. We found out, we said, right, fuck it, we ain't working, we ain't doing nothing until you stop them from doing it.
Yeah, because if you can't get to it, you can do it in other ways, can't you? And doing it that way. Yeah.
But how of an insult is that, getting paedophiles to make children's toys?
It's vile. It's just absolutely what is going on with the and I do hear of it goes so deeper, doesn't it, into the scale of the government and everything. There's more that goes on that we will ever know, sort of thing. But it's wrong in so many ways, and I think they should bring the death penalty. I know you're saying it's easier, but I think they should just be wiped out, and then they can't be released and have the chance of doing it ever again to somebody. It's just wrong.
It should be like America. Life means life.
Yeah. Life is life, isn't it? Eye for an eye. Where, I think one of my stories that I've done about the lovely girl Holly, she was stabbed so many times, and he'll have parole, he'll get out, he'll have his life back in I know 20 odd years, but he's still got his life. That poor girl and her family, it's just so sad, and it just breaks you, doesn't it, sort of thing. But are you all right, Chris? Thank you for coming. I know you had to leave soon, but are you okay to stay on for a little bit longer? Or Clint, can I ask you another question? Is that okay?
That's not charging for these soon.
I asked this question to Chris as well, but this question sort of means a bit to me, because I actually want to show a couple of people this video afterwards. So there's a question. Where's it gone? Right, what would you say, Clint, to young people at the moment who are or could be going down maybe like the criminal path sort of thing? What would you
Don't get out of it if you're in a bad crowd. You know, it'll ruin your life. You know what I mean? Trying to get a job, everything like that. They'll see a criminal record. It's like, oh, we'll get back to you. Just don't do it. It is not worth it. Trust me. Just get an education, get a life, get married, have kids, but just do not go down that route. Trust me. It is not worth it. It just brings a life of misery.
Because you've been there, haven't you? So you know,
Oh,
you
yes.
can write a book about it, sort of thing. You know,
Yeah.
you've been on that side, and you know how hard it is. And you know, to
Yeah.
those who think it's like a piece of cake, I know that they have probably more privileges now than what they used to back like.
Tell me about it.
But you know, it's not a life to be, is it? To go.
No, unfortunately, a lot of kids are today, you know, seen going to prison as some sort of badge of honor. It's not.
Yeah.
No.
It isn't as well, and I get what you're saying. A lot of kids, I think what it is more with the kids nowadays, it's more of being in a gang, isn't it? And proving to the gang members that they're bigger and better, and you know, they don't care. They have like the attitude of like, I don't care what happens, and you know, and I think it's more when the poor children do, like you hear of stuff, don't you, with stabbings and stuff. Life crime and like it's the parents, isn't it, that are left without a child, and you know, and it's sad, isn't it, for them?
Yeah, they'll soon regret it if they get done for murder, and all of a sudden they're sitting on a 25-year tariff at the age of 15, 16. Their life is ruined.
Yeah, they've got no life then, haven't they, for 25 years? You know, all they'll know in life is living in a prison, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the food in prison, Clint, or did you have a favourite dish inside or not?
I used to like Wednesday sausage, egg, chips, beans, and rice pudding.
Okay, so you did sort of like that was like your favourite sort of meal. Looking forward to
Yeah.
Wednesdays.
Yeah, but most of the food, it was rushed and mass produced, so there's not a lot of flavour in it. But on the canteen, I always use the snacks.
Yeah.
You know. And I'd save, you know, during the weekend you get eggs, and I'd save them. You know, kind of I like a little hoarder. You know, plus I knew a few lads in the kitchens. You know, so I'd get extra helpings.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, could you sort of like say, "Oh, can I have 4 sausages?" or would you get a certain amount dished up?
Certain amount. But if the person in front of you said, "Oh, I do want my sausages," you'd be like, "I'll have them."
And would they give them to you, sort of thing?
Yeah.
So always stand behind the one that don't like the sausage.
Yeah, waste not, want not is my attitude. If you don't, you'll bloody eat it.
Yeah, bless you.
Yeah, especially at tea time, you get your tea about 4:30, and if you haven't got association that night, that's it. You're behind the door till 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no way I was going 15 hours without food. No chance.
Yeah, it's a long time, isn't it? Especially like when you're sitting in there and like, your belly's like empty and like, bless you. Makes you think more, doesn't it? You get grumpy as well. Was you like a bear with a sore head without your grub?
Oh, I'm like it now.
Yeah, don't change. Bless you.
But luckily, I got a good lady. You know, she's done me a full roast dinner at 3 o'clock in the morning before now.
Bless her. Big respect to your beautiful lady as well, and say hello for me. Bless
Yeah,
her.
she's I'm sat in the kitchen, which is my favourite place. She's in the living room.
Bless her. Can I ask you just one more question, if that's all right? I know
Yep, go for it.
hard in you. What was the first thing you did when you was released? Did you go for like a McDonald's, or did you go for something to eat, or did you go like to the shop?
I'll go and get a packet of fags, go to the local Weatherspoons, get a pint of Guinness,
Yeah.
and breakfast.
And did you get released with money or not?
Discharge grant, yeah, which was basically 1 week's benefit, plus if you'd had money sent in during your sentence, if you had any money left over, then you'd get released for that.
Okay, thank you. Bless you. Thank you. I'm sorry I bombarded you with questions, but it's just like,
right.
you know, it's me being nosy, wanting to know, like, you know, wanting to know really. It's just, you don't know, you learn something.
No.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Shirley, I just seen them. You should go for a day out in Shrewsbury Prison one day.
Pardon?
Have you heard of Shrewsbury Prison?
I know it very well. It's about 10 miles from me.
Yeah.
Who?
Clint knows.
He's breaking up for me. I can't hear you because you're breaking up a little bit for me, Chris. I can't hear properly. What I know, I heard something about in prison, so I don't know what you said before that.
No, I just seen them. You could go for a day out in there.
The internet.
No, Shrewsbury Prison. They do visits and all that. Day you can go in.
Okay, sorry, you were breaking up to me, so I heard. So, actually, saying that, do you get internet in prison or not?
No, bloody hell, no chance.
You're allowed any like?
No.
So, obviously, you hear of like the phones being taken in, so you know they have to have some sort of like connection on them that way, don't they, and stuff. But
well, sometimes, yeah. And Shirley, sometimes they try to scam people.
Who, the prisoners?
They try to scam people from a local community or outside. You could get a phone call, and it could be someone from jail.
Yeah,
trying to scam you.
I suppose that's being more. Oh, so is that actual like a prison cell?
Yeah.
The beds are so narrow, aren't they? And
that's a posh cell compared to what the ones I was like when I first went in.
I was going to say it's quite spacious, isn't it, in that one? Because I've seen like other pictures of cells, and there's not quite a lot of room and stuff. But yeah, I suppose like with the scamming side, Chris, it's about sort of like learning that when somebody, like I've had calls like from people saying that they needed to like have my bank details and stuff, and you know, it's just being aware, isn't it, not to give that out over the phone.
That's the inside of Shrewsbury.
And is that the prison that you was at the second time, did you say, Clint, or the first?
That's the first one.
And you was there for 2 years, your first one?
2 years I got sentenced, but I only actually did 12 months.
Yeah, because sometimes they half the time, don't they? So you get 4, you do 2, and
up to 4 years, it's half the sentence, and anything over 4.5, it's 2/3.
Yeah.
But one of the worst prison. I wouldn't say it's the worst prison, but the most notorious prison I've been inside with. In 1995 in HMP Winchester, I was actually there when Rose West was there for trial.
Oh God, she
was having shit parcels thrown at her and everything.
Yeah, good. I tell you, she deserved it as well. She deserved to be. She was. I'm actually like looking into like that story. That was just, you know, when I look and like when I've done the stories, like my crime stories before,
Yeah.
you know, it is heart wrenching to read what they've done and how their evil, twisted mentality of what they do to like. It's just horrific. The poor people and like. Yeah, she was the wrong and 100%. She
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shelley, you know child killers. You do get a good king by the officers sometimes.
Yeah, so the officers, I've heard that actually. Some of the officers go to the room and like do what they've got to do, like sort of thing. I have heard that before, so that is true that the officers do that.
Well, yeah, sometimes, yeah. Depends what prison you're in.
Good, and so they should do as well, because why should they have more rights than say like you, Clint, when you was inside? Why should they have more rights than you from what they've done? You've done a lesser. Do you know what I mean? It's just not right, is it? It's yeah. I get angry from it. It makes my blood boil. It really does.
Yeah. Once they've crossed that line, it should be back to old school, behind the door all the time, bread and water, and that's it.
Yeah, they shouldn't be getting privileges and stuff like that.
No, but nowadays you're allowed bloody PlayStations in prison, blooming phone in your cell, you know, television.
Showers.
I heard that about. Do you remember the poor little boy that was murdered by the two teenager lads?
James Bolger.
James Bolger, little boy, yeah. And they were put into prison, weren't they? And they were actually going out on football tours, weren't they? They were actually being allowed out, and that was just heart wrenching. I just think
and they had thousands spent changing their identities and everything.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
And that's what I mean. They get all their identity changed, possibly plastic surgery, to change their like features, and you just think, where is it going? It's wrong, isn't it? It's not correct, and that's where Chris was saying before as well. There's a lot more corruption that is going on, and I think if you open up to the corruption and you speak up about it, you are silenced. They try and silence you in so many ways, don't they?
Yeah. Shelley, they call you grass.
Yeah. So they call you. Did you say, because you broke up a bit again then, Chris? They say they call you a grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they try to kill it.
Oh, I can't. Clint, I can't. It's breaking up. I don't mean to be rude. I don't know.
It's
not. Yeah. Bless you, Chris.
Am I okay now?
That's
I
can hear you now.
They call you a grass, and you got the managers, and they try their best to get you out of that job.
Well, so are you on about like the managers in the prison? So the managers above you. So they're trying to sort of like boot you out of the job.
It's too many good ones leaving.
So am I right in what you're saying? Is the good ones that do their job right, they try to get rid of, but the ones that are doing all the things behind the under the table, like speech, they tend to keep.
Wow. And they call you a grass.
Wow, that's not like nice for you, going. Nice for you going in and being called that every sort of other day, is it?
Yeah,
doing a job. Crazy.
And Shelley, and they say to you, I'm not backing you up today, because you're a grass.
See, that's not very nice to like hear though. You going into work, doing your
yeah.
job, and being
Yeah.
called a grass because you're like doing what you're trained to do. Really,
Yeah.
you know. But then it goes into the corruption, doesn't it? More of the side of it's
Yeah.
always the higher ones that are up, isn't it? That are actually the main ones doing it all, really.
Yeah, Clint, do you think a prison service is a mess?
Yeah.
Are you okay if I just nip to the kitchen for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can I say?
It's not worse.
There's certain things that certainly need to be improved.
Yeah.
You know, like they should, like trying to, if at a night time, if you will, you know, if it's an emergency, they've got to get older health care and they've got to come through. And you could be waiting an hour, 2 hours just for someone to come and see you because the night screws haven't got a key to the cell.
Yeah.
You know,
That's not enough. That's not enough staff on that night time.
Hey, no. What?
No, it's a mess.
Two officers, maybe three wings.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's not good.
I seen you got security at night times now because there's not enough officers. Yeah. Security are not trained.
No,
No.
not at all.
Well,
No,
it's a mess.
It certainly needs a good kick up the arse, I think.
Yeah.
You know, if they just need to plow more money into the training, because what is it, 6 weeks of training and thrown into the deep end?
No, it's 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, and corruption is 1 week. That's a joke, that.
That's corrupt in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
Well, it's a government. I don't think a government cares.
Well, out of sight, out of mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, but
it's too easy to get promotion.
yeah. Did you get promoted, or did you get an SO or PO?
No. I just saying it's too easy to get promotion these days. You could be in a job for 9 months, or you could get an SO job.
Yeah. But you know, as I said, a lot of the old style officers were brilliant. You know, they wouldn't take no shit from no one. But nowadays, most of the answer is, "Oh, I'll put you on basic, give you a nicking or whatever." And what's that gonna do? Nothing.
No. And like everyone says, it's that job is too easy to get into.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it, to be honest with you.
But lots of people say that. But do you think money's rubbish?
Hey,
do you think 25,000? Do you think 25,000 is okay?
is that the starting pay? Is it?
Well, no, the starting pay is about 21, but after a few years, you get 25.
Bloody hell,
it's not much.
It's not a lot considering the potential dangers are in. It depends what kind of prison you go to. You know, 21 grand a year. If you get work at Belmarsh, then I'll be asking for double that at least in that double ACAT.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Angela.
Yeah, hello, Angela. Bless you. And Goddess, thank you for popping in. Bless them. I was trying to read what Angela put, actually. A member gets hanged, a murderer gets hanged. And it said to, what about a woman who raped and survived? Oh, see, yeah, Angela's got quite a good point there.
Yeah.
to live with it. 100%, Angela. That is so true. And that's what I was saying earlier as well, Angela, about to Chris before Clint came on. I was saying, I don't know whether you remember my Holly video that I done, Angela, when you came in, and she was stabbed and murdered, like obviously with the women that get abused, raped and stuff, and then they have to live with that for every day of their life and the trauma that they've been through, and they go to prison for a length of time and then they're released and get on with their life. It's so right in what you're saying, 100%. I'm just gonna go back up because I've missed quite a few comments. Okay, Angela's asked Chris, do officers take in any contraband? I think earlier, Angela, if you go back onto the video, Chris was explaining about that, but if you don't mind, Chris, if you wouldn't mind saying again, like about the officers that you were aware of. Did you ever see officers as well, Clint?
Well,
I certainly didn't experience.
Shirley, it's happening all the time now. It's too much of it.
Yeah, you did say that earlier. Yeah, bless her. I don't know if Angela's still in, but obviously Chris said before about earlier in the video that officers do. My Bedford prison video that I done when I researched it about the prison officer lady, she was actually seeing an inmate for over a year and was taking in like a telephone, cigarettes, papers, other stuff. And like you were saying, Chris, they only got searched like maybe 3 times out of a year. Like prison officers. So it just goes to show how easy it can be done, really, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
sort of thing. Oh, bless she is in, bless her. She's still in, so bless you, Angela. Big love to you, Angela. I hope you're all right, darling, and family's okay.
Drones.
So I do appreciate you both for popping in, honestly.
No, that's right.
From my heart, I really do. And I'm sorry if I put personal questions like over. I didn't mean to be too personal.
That's right. I don't mind. I got nothing to hide.
Yes, sir. But love to us all. Look, love to you as well, sweetie. Bless her. But if that answers your question, Angela, about the contraband, it does go on. Chris was explaining before, like 3 times out of the year, officers would get searched. So can you imagine what actually does go in? You know. And we were talking about spice before as well, me and Chris, before Clint. Did you ever see spice?
Horrible, nasty, evil stuff.
Yeah. Was you ever offered anything like that? Or, because I know you went through a phase of being on quite a few drugs and stuff.
I had about 2 tokes on it when I was selling the bigot. I woke up, absolutely gasping for a fag. I on that, and he didn't tell me it had spice in it. I had about 2 tokes. Walking down the road, I wanted to headbutt cars and everything. It is horrible stuff.
Do you remember taking it, or was your mind just completely like, I don't know what's going on here, sort of thing?
I didn't know what the hell was going on. Oh dear, what have I pressed there?
Yeah, because when I've seen videos of people being on the drug spice, they are absolutely out of this world, aren't they? In a completely different planet. It's just.
Have you seen the YouTube video? It's called Captain Crack Sparrow.
No. I'm going to go and check it out though, because you've said it now.
I don't know if I'd be able to find it and show it on screen, but I don't know if that'd be allowed.
I just seen. I just seen that. Do 1,000 is a bit rubbish.
The what? Sorry, you're breaking up again.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Oh, look.
Yeah, I just see.
Guess. Hello, Marie.
Right.
You said her name 3 times in the mirror. Here she is, Michelle.
Has she come in?
Marie.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
I'm not being rude. Hang on a minute.
Right at
Yes.
the bottom.
There you go. I said your name 3 times in the mirror and you've appeared. There you go, my beautiful sister, Marie C. See, Clint, it worked, didn't it? It absolutely worked. Bless you, my darling. I need to ring you. I know I do. Bless you. I love you lots. So bless her. Love her. Yeah. But yeah, we were saying before, and Goddess is in as well. Bless me, Goddess. Bless Princess Angela. Big love and respect to you, beautiful. Clint, you've got a blue love heart from my Marie C. I get me purple.
Yeah,
I'm the purple sis. Goddess, big love to you. We're just watching this video of someone actually on the drug spice. Yeah, I've actually heard I've seen a lot about the drug spice as well, but for you to actually see somebody on it in prison and for you to actually see it as well, Chris, it just must be. Was you not like worried for them or like?
Yeah, Shelley, got quite a few of them died.
Yeah,
there's no antidote for it, and you see these videos people put of people who've got phones in, and people saying, "Oh, if you lick a toilet seat or whatever, I'll give you a bit of spice for a joint," and they're licking toilet seats, getting smacks, taking 3 punches for a bit.
So is it
it's
like
disgraceful and sad.
Is it a drug? Like, obviously, I know you haven't had it, so you wouldn't know. But is it along that line of where they're so addicted to it they need to have it again, or is it?
I wouldn't say it was physically addictive like heroin and that, but mentally addictive. Yeah.
I mean, to actually look back and like for someone that has actually done it, seeing themselves licking a toilet seat to actually get some is degrading, isn't it, to do that. It's just like you just wouldn't imagine, and to actually die from it as well. I've heard people have died from it as well. But you don't hear of it now, do you? More of it now, do you? It was quite. I'm going back maybe about 2 years ago. I heard more
Shelley, I just saying, and they do it. Yeah, sorry about this. Yeah, I just saying, and they do it. Could you chuck piss over that officer's face or chuck shit at him? I give you some. You do it.
So they would actually like physically go and put like their like crap on an officer to actually go and get a hit from that drug.
Yeah, and they could chuck piss in my face.
Wow.
But the thing about spices, there's no smell to it. But with ordinary weed, it's a very distinctive smell.
So you wouldn't know, like, if someone sat next to you and said, "Oh, do you want a bit of this fag?" If you took like a drag of that fag, you wouldn't know if it had it in it or not because you wouldn't be able to smell it, sort of thing. Is that how they like? Going back to another question, sorry. Like me and Chris was talking earlier about people going into prison that like have never touched drugs but have come out being drug like dependent sort of thing on drugs. Like, is that how majority of it starts? Do they sort of like with the spice sit next to you and give you a sort of like a hit of it, so then you become dependent on it, or I don't know. Or have you seen cases like that, Clint, inside?
Well, when I was last in prison, spice wasn't really around. We're talking 8.5 years since I was last in prison. It was around, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is nowadays. It It was more proper weed.
Yeah.
You know?
I think like the diseases of like you get like the paedophiles that are in the other wings. I think
Yeah.
they should like inject them with like maybe like HIV or give them something and maybe use them as like guinea pigs to like find cures for
Well,
stuff.
I've always said that instead of using innocent animals to test makeup and all that, use them.
Yeah, big respect to your wife for saying that as well, because that is so true.
Yeah.
But I think they should do that as well, 100%.
Yeah, or give them a bit of battery acid.
Yeah, give them something to find out, what can like cure that in like an antidote for it. I don't know if anybody has got any other questions. I know
Castrate them with a blunt razor blade and a blowtorch.
Yeah, 100%, Clint. Bless. I don't know if anybody's got any other questions they would like to ask.
I think I seen one from Princess Angela earlier. Hold on, let me have it.
Yeah, Princess Angela asked the question about...
Was there much difference between how the police treated you to how the prison officers treat you? I suppose they got two different outlooks, and the prison officers are there when you go to prison, and the police officers are there to charge you or whatever. I suppose there is two different of treatment because there's two different outlooks on their job. One's to catch you, and the other one's to what they call the rehabilitation route.
Okay, sorry, I didn't see that question, Angela. I don't know if it's up above a little bit, but I've seen one from Michael as well. Do they take drones up? As I watch programs, they were doing that to do that for drugs. So have you ever seen drones like going into around your prison, or did you ever see anyone putting a drone around in prison when you were there, Clint, to drop off, like get the drugs in that way? No,
a lot of the time it was exercise time. It was thrown over the wall into the exercise yard.
So Goddess has put, I read an article the other day, there's a guy that's in prison over here, and he worried them that if he was anywhere near the paedophile that he would kill them. Has already killed 2.
Release him.
Yeah, he needs to be released for good, like for very good behaviour.
Yeah. It's like that Charles Bronson. He's been in so long, but the thing is, he's Britain's longest serving prisoner in solitary confinement, but he's never killed anyone.
That's what I was good. That was one of the questions I was going to ask you, actually. Do you know who was the longest prisoner in prison today? I was going to actually ask that question, and he is. You're right, and he's never killed anyone, but he's been one. And do you find that they get more time for taking, like, so basically, like for robbing money, like out of a bank, like they get more time for doing that than, like, it just riles me. I know it's wrong either side, like you weigh it up, it's both wrong, but like, for robbing money and not killing somebody, you get like 15 years. But for destroying a child, you get 6 months. And that's what riles me. I can't, I know it goes into the money side of it, doesn't it? Because that's all it is about, isn't it?
The fear and the violence and the intimidation. And
the greed. And it's just, But you were saying about Charles.
Yeah, I just seen Shelley. Peter, you could do. I saw one. He done it like 4 times. He keeps coming back on 2 all the time.
Yeah.
4 times.
So, are you on about the? Clint, I don't mean to be rude to Chris, but is he breaking up to you or is it just
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be rude because I don't want to agree to something that I'm not hearing. So
Yeah, Shelley. I just think this man got caught by a paedophile notice 4 times.
So this man got caught by paedophile hunters, who I admire straight from my heart, because I tell you what, if I was a paedophile hunter, I'd be in prison for doing life because I'd kill the person. But I don't know how they hold their own and be so. I know they're doing it to go down the right route because they're doing it to try and do it rightly, aren't they? But even though it's not rightly because it's all messed up anyway. But yeah, I admire them. But being caught 4 times and still being released and going out and doing the same thing, they shouldn't be let out. They should be.
They should have the 3rd strike rule like they do in America. You do something like that, and on the 3rd time you get life. Simple.
I'm actually researching. Sorry.
For something like that, I don't think the 3rd strike rule. It should be a 1 strike rule. If you've done it once, you're gonna do it again. So you get caught the first time, life. Simple.
That's right. I'm actually looking into a story at the minute about an American guy who has done 18 years inside for, because America's different, and Goddess will agree that their criminal system is so different to UK. A life is a life, like you were saying before, Clint. And when somebody's done something, like they get up to 42 years, and like, you know, just for like maybe running somebody over and like not even killing them, just like maybe paralyzing them, they get a lot of time for stuff like that. It's completely different. And this guy, he actually is a paedophile, so he is in American prison. He's a paedophile, but he's due to be released after 18 years. And he is basically telling the system, I am going to reoffend. If you let me out, I am going to reoffend. And they are still letting him go. He is basically telling them he is going to go and do it, and they're letting him go. And I just think, you know, it's wrong, isn't it? It's wrong.
Definitely.
It's so annoying, and like,
it's like I don't know if you've seen the news. There's a UFC champion. He's being charged over in America with shooting up a van because they abused his 4-year-old relative, and he found him and he shot up. He's got done for attempt, and all his friends were outside. No, fair play to him.
He's getting in trouble for it, so he's getting done for it, and they got away with it, I bet. And
they're getting
in prison for it.
And they're getting police protection over it.
Yeah, Shirley, like I told you, people in prison they despise paedophiles.
Yeah. They do. Yeah.
Yeah. They chuck hot Scotch water mixed with sugar at them, or sometimes they do get to them. They give them a good kicking.
Do you know the ones that actually get to them and give them a good kicking? Do the screws actually go pat them on the back and go, well done, or do they get in trouble for that? Or do they get away with it? It'd be nice.
Well, they do get in trouble, but sometimes they get away with it because the officers do it.
I think they should. That's the only thing that like I strongly agree with like, you know, the officers, the prison officers, like just putting that blind eye to it. I just think, you know, that's somebody's child, that's somebody's daughter, or you know what I mean? And I I just don't think they should have that privacy and be covered up the way that it is. I just think it's wrong. It's so wrong.
I just seen that. Yeah, Shirley, I'd seen that person like 4 times or 3 times. Yeah, the staff do get pissed off sometimes.
Yeah, because where they keep going out and coming back in, the staff
Yeah.
actually know what they're doing, you know, and it's wrong, isn't it? They shouldn't be being released. They shouldn't be coming out, in, out, knowing what they're doing. It's just sick, completely sick.
Yeah.
But then, you know, it does make you look into it, like, you know, whether they've gone through stuff in their own childhood or whatever, it doesn't mean that they have the rights to go. You know, there has to be a chain where it's broke, isn't it? And you have to break that, you know, it's
Definitely.
not fair. Sort of thing.
Shelley. I seen you talk about the pedophiles. Do you think I'm there like kids in the mind? What me and Clint, we like women. Shelley, you probably like men, but some people do like kids.
I
think you're born with it.
I think they know what they're doing. There is no, like, you know, they know that it's wrong as well. So when I've researched about, like, this guy in America, he knows it's wrong. He's telling them, I'm going to go back out and I'm going to do the same thing, what I'm in here for. So, you know, that's no child mind, like, in his mind about it. He's actually fully adult minded, telling them that he's going to go out and redo what he's done. So I don't. I disagree with that. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that.
I think a lot of them try and say that as a way of justifying what they're doing, but no matter what you say, there's no justification.
100%, Clint.
Do you think prison's too easy for these paedophiles?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Just put them in, not even a little room, just put them in an open place with, like, one mum. She, you know, she would destroy them. Like, you know, just the maternal instinct would kick in.
I'll put them in dual population and they get battered.
But that's still easy, isn't it? They're just getting a hiding, and, like, they're going to heal from that hiding, you know, in my eyes. I know that, don't get me wrong, I don't agree with people going out and hitting people. I know that I'm sounding like contradicting there a little bit, but for people like that, where we were saying earlier with the death sentence, I agree with the death sentence for people like that. But, and I've said that in my previous videos with the children that I've done that have been abused and killed. I believe that, you know, they need to suffer, because, like, prison is too easy for them. They get a change of name if it comes to it. They're protected. It's just completely twisted and messed up in so many ways, like I was saying before.
Yeah. Angela's just come up with a good question. She's put,
I'm not
when in the prison system from an early age, people get institutionalized, so they become repeat offenders. Do you think that the upcoming reform of the prison system is a good idea? Yeah, I haven't read up much about it. As I said, I'm a bit out the loop because I haven't been in prison since December 2013.
So
but
what do you think to that?
Like I said to Shelley, the prison service it's a mess. Like, corruption's gone higher. People into prison never took drugs before. The system's a mess. Prison's gone worse.
Yeah, it's definitely a mess.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe? Sorry.
Like Clint knows, that job is too easy to get into.
Yeah, you don't need no qualifications, nothing. But I was saying to Chris, they got no. You see some of these officers, and they're like, you look at them, and you think,
does your like idiots?
You know, 19, 20-year-olds, you think, if this kicks off on a landing or whatever, you ain't got a chance, mate.
Yeah. And like Clint knows, it's too easy to get promoted.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying as well before, what Angela's just said as well. I sort of
Yeah.
asked Clint that question, Angela, about you, because Clint was explaining that he's been in prison 3 times. I think it was 3 times, wasn't it? And I
No,
sort of asked
more,
4
I've
times.
been in more than I've probably been in about 15, 20 times.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
15,
In
20
between-
times. Wow, big jump from 4. But like I
I've
sort of
probably
asked
done about, I've probably done about 11 years in total between 1988 and 2013.
it's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you like break that down and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I sort of asked him about, did he sort of like, I sort of asked you, Clint, didn't I, if you sort of offended because you felt more like secure in prison and from being inside, from being outside, because some people do reoffend, don't they? Because
Yeah.
they feel more secure inside.
Mm.
Sorry, do you mind if I just chat? My son's just asking me a question. I don't mean to
That's
be, bless him, he wants food.
Oh,
Oh,
food.
yeah.
I'm hungry. So, what's the worst prison you've worked in then, Chris?
Well, I said Bowen.
Wales.
But everyone knows about that. It's a bit rough.
Yeah, I've been to Swansea prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was only there for the weekend while I was waiting for a transfer up to Gloucester.
Yeah. Have you been to Bowen? No.
No,
No.
I've been to Shrewsbury, Grimsford, which is Wolverhampton, Featherstone, Gloucester, Exeter, Dartmoor. You know, but I said
Yeah, I
those
just
are
think.
well. I mean,
Yeah, I've seen Wrexham's not far from you.
Wrexham.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's about 35 miles.
Let me ask my good phone. Let me have a look. It is 31 miles, yeah.
Yeah.
Take me about 46 minutes driving.
Yeah.
Bless you. Sorry about that. Boys, teenagers with their growing bellies, eh? They get hungry, don't they?
Oh, making me feel hungry.
Yeah, bless him. I mean, I forgot where we were now. No, you know. Bless you, Angela. Yeah, yeah, bless Angela, because yeah, do know that as well. And like I've said this before, when you've been on a live, you know, admire you so much for what you've been through, from what you went through, and how you've come out, and you know how you are now, and you know you are an inspiration. And I've said that before, so you know, big respect to you. And yeah, and it's true in what you're saying as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
If I had one on, I'd take my hat off to you, Angela.
yeah,
I'll take my
to go through that, and like, and it is, it's like, I know what we've spoke about this evening, it's I know it can be triggering, and it's like, but it's true, they shouldn't be released. Life is too easy, and you know they get away with so much, and it's wrong. So that's my opinion. So you know, and I just see a message from Jake actually before as well. He was saying about someone who I have seen on YouTube, the internet. Somebody called that Mark Freely, is it?
Mark Feely, yeah, has been caught and never been in prison.
Yeah, I think Jake actually did say that before. Sorry, I need to go back on the chat because I don't want to. Does anybody want to come on and ask questions before I come off the live? Before we come off the live, did anybody want to pop on and ask anything, or are you just happy in the chat? You're more than welcome to pop up.
Jake, is that who you're on about?
That's the person I've seen, yes, on this. I'm going back a couple of years ago, though. So that person's been on here for quite a while, but where he's been caught and he's never been to like prison for anything, has he? And got away
Charlie, I got told he's gone to Ireland.
Is that what? So you've heard he's gone to Ireland, so he's left?
No, he went to Ireland. Yeah, he went to Ireland. I started again. Someone told me he's gone to.
That's what I was saying about the guy in America.
I'm saying he's never been to prison in the UK. I think he's gone to prison in Ireland. Well, I don't get that. Yeah.
I hope he stays in there and he never comes out because, like, and that's what I mean. That's what I was saying about the guy in America. He's actually admitting that he's going to do it, and they're releasing him. And this guy's been doing it, getting away with it, and they've not even put him inside. It just doesn't tally with me. Just something's not right.
It's wrong.
I'm the only one to like agree with it, but yeah.
I said no third strike rule. First strike, life. If you've done it once, you're going to do it again. Simple as.
Yeah. Bless you, Shelley. I don't have any questions, or I'd pop on. Oh, bless you, Goddess. Thank you, beautiful.
Tired, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll probably still be awake I'll probably still be up till 6 in the morning anyway.
No. Right. Bless you both for popping on. I hope you don't mind if I love and leave you both in a minute. I'm going to go and do my son's food. But thank you. It's been so like educational and like interesting, you know, like to like find out stuff about you being a prison officer, Chris, and you being in like an inmate, you know. Thank you so much. And I now know that they actually use plastic knife and forks and plates. So that's answered the big question.
Unless you get enhanced and you're allowed a proper mug to drink out of.
Yeah. And I bet there's nothing better than having a cup of tea out of a proper mug, is there, than having it out of a plastic one.
Them plastic cups are rank. They're horrible.
It tastes better, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Bless you.
I just say them. Yeah, tell your son never to go to prison. It's not a good place.
Yeah, thank you for that question. You know, the question I asked earlier about what would you say to any young person that is going down that sort of path. I really do appreciate that. You know, you answering that, and thank you so much. But yeah, thank you for popping on with me. It means a lot, and if I can like ever help like, for any of you, I will, you know, sort of thing.
That's why I still carry that with me as a reminder. You do anything wrong, that's where you're going.
That's where you're going back. So behave yourself. We'll all be watching you now. Keep on the straight and narrow.
Them days are behind me. I got a good woman behind me, and
bless your heart, honestly.
I'm very happy with my life at the moment.
Yeah, like you know, Charlie, prison's gone worse. It's no good for some.
Yeah.
You broke up a bit there, Chris.
Bring back more stuff national service. That'll put them in line. Or if anybody's thinking of going to prison, watch the film Scum.
Oh, I have seen that film. Yeah, quite a good few years back. It's
That's what I was thinking. That's the first thing I was thinking of when I first went to prison. I was thinking, oh shit, is it anything like the film Scum? but it wasn't.
Yeah, you see Time on the BBC.
I got it on Netflix.
Time. Yeah, Shelley, have you seen Time?
Yeah,
No.
part of that was filmed
yeah,
in Shrewsbury Prison.
In Shrewsbury, yeah. Yeah, Time is like 80%.
But my hands
It's like real. It's like real life.
Mm.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll look,
Yeah.
like go and have a look as well and like watch that.
Yeah,
So-
Sean Bean.
Oh, guys. Show Peace, yeah.
Sean Bean.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Well,
yeah, and just put thank you, Clint, Shelley, and I'm not sure of the other man's name. Big
Chris.
respect to you, Angela. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris's name is Angela. Blessings and love to you all. Big love and respect to you, Goddess. Honestly, my other sister from another mister. Much respect to Clint. Yes, 100% respect to
No
Clint.
problem.
Thank you, Clint, for popping on as well.
Nice. I said I would.
And
Yeah.
Michael, if you've not subbed, go and give him a sub, bless him. He's got like a channel, he does lives and he goes out and gets like buildings of like history and stuff. So really good.
I haven't seen GT. I haven't seen A Up Duck GTR in chat for a while.
Bless him. Yeah, he normally pops in when he can, doesn't he? Bless him.
Yeah.
But yeah, big respect to GTR as well, honestly, 100%. And yeah, Jake away as well. That's the comment. I found it. Bless him.
I'm gonna go out one day with an adventure with GTR. I've already said I would, and he's like, "Yeah, go, come. You're more than welcome."
Yeah, honestly, you should as well. You know, honestly, he does great videos, doesn't he, GTR?
Oh yeah.
He's given me the
bloke,
motivation to get back out there as well.
Yeah.
Bless
Yeah,
popping in, Jason. Sorry, I'm just saying my big love and respect to everyone. Marisi, my beautiful sister. Yeah, I think that's it, really. I think that's who popped.
That's it.
Yeah, but thank you so much. And yeah, thank you, Clint, and thank you, Chris, for popping in with me. I'm glad we've done it because we were going to do it next week, weren't we? But I'm glad we got around to it. Yeah, thank you.
No worries, right? You talking about food, and I'm gonna have some chicken Kiev's name.
Don't blame you. I'm going to go and get my grub as well. I'll put something cheeky in the oven and all. Something pretty.
My motto is: you got a week to stay on your feet.
That's right. Thanks, Clint, and I'll see you in the chat or around some other time. Bless your heart. Thank you, Clint.
No worries.
Big love and respect to you.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Peace out.
Good.
Peace
I
out,
see ya.
Chris. Thank you. Big love and respect to you.
Bye. All right, see ya.
Bless you. See you later, Chris. Thank you. Do you know what? Thank you so much to Chris and Clint for popping in. Big love and respect to him. So, okay. I'll do my peace out. See reflection in my glasses. Look at them goggles. Look. Got my beer goggles on tonight. Look at that for a glass. That's a big one, isn't it? No, big love and respect to them both, you know. I learned a lot tonight, but thank you all for popping in. Big love and respect. Peace out.